Alright, hello everyone. I cleared out my videos, so we have a clear cache. And we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna do it right. Today, I wanted to just touch base on something I saw in a YouTube short. And it was Destiny, the political commentator on YouTube, and Jordan Peterson, the other I wouldn't say political commentator, but uh, a social media phenomenon for sure, or that went worldwide, and they were arguing about this concept of a third-party trust. So I'm going to try to steelman both of their arguments and then give you my thoughts. So, well, let's go into what third-party trust is, and it'd be good to start with Destiny's argument on that because that's what he believes is essentially what he believes is that let's use a car example. So whenever you go into car and you put your keys in ignition and turn it on, you trust. So this is third party trust. You trust that whoever built that car is going to have done a good job to have started your ignition. I mean, to have made a car that would start and not blow up. So, it's that trust of a third party of. So you have the two parties. So the car is the first party, you're the second party, and the third party is the one on that has direct influence of let's say a feature or effect on your working relationship. And what Destiny is arguing is that in society as a whole, we have these third party trust that we trust in. So something like the police is a third party trust. We live in a society where we trust the police to do their job and to keep everyone safe. Now, the argument to that Jordan Peterson is making is no, we don't necessarily work our brains don't necessarily work in the third party trust. What they work on is the evidence to that. So let's take the car our example again. So every time someone goes into a car and turns on the ignition, they trust that it's going to turn on because they've turned on cars 100 other times before, and every time they've turned on the car, it's turned on. Not necessarily that I trust the manufacturer to have done a good job, but that I trust that, I've gone into a car 100,000 times. This time, for the 1,001st time that I turn this key, I have so much evidence backing me up that, you know what, this car is probably not going to blow up. And you turn the car and most likely it's not going to blow up. And so that's what they're arguing. And I think they were trying, it was only short, so I don't know this for sure, but I think they are trying to piece out society as a whole as, okay, hey, do we as people lean on third-party trust, so just naturally trusting the systems that are in place to foster our everyday lives, or do we lean more towards evidence-based? We have lived in this society and seen in the results of this society so many times that these third parties we inevitably trust them because we've seen them in action so many times, and then that's how we grow to trust them, not by just not happenstance, but by what's it called? Man, I'm losing the word right now. So let me just long explain it. It's we don't trust them just because of their role in society. So that's the car metaphor, or so that manufacturer, that's their role in society, is to manufacture cars, or so, and we trust them to do that. But instead of that, we trust the evidence that is presented to us continuously of, oh, okay, well, there's so many times I get into this car and turn on the car that, and I'm going to trust that the cars that I go into are going to turn on. Same with its society in general, all in these groups. Police officers, for example, police officers respond to calls have responded to calls consistently, have given me evidence, giving the certain person specific evidence to believe them trustworthy, to believe them, the person to believe that, to start trusting them because of the evidence that is brought to them. And I don't know if I explained it well enough. I don't know. I'm feeling a little off today, but I kind of lean towards Jordan Peterson's argument in the initial stage. Because let's take the police officer example. Generally, people trust police officers and want police officers in their communities. But I argue that's because they have experienced the good that policing does. It saves them from people they don't want to be with and be around. It saves them from other reckless people, reckless drivers, as I say. It helps them in their own relationships, maybe violent relationships, maybe violent neighbors that they don't want to be involved with. However, if we take an individual, so a person, just a single person's experience, maybe the evidence for them is going to be contrary to what the general population would be. So I could very well imagine someone is a somewhat decent person, but has lived in, let's just say, a city with corrupt police officers or a corrupt police department, that has had so many experiences, evidence in this case, of corrupt and morally awful police officers, that he or she is convinced that, you know what, police officers are not good for society or not good for me, and goes on to carry that prejudice out with them. And of course, how you combat that is evidence to the contrary. A more evidence towards, actually, when I go out to this new other city and experience police officers here who are maybe friendly, who have actually helped me, who are actually productive in the society, that gives you more evidence for the contrary. So that's why I start to lean towards Jordan Peterson's argument of the evidence, because it's based on that person. Now, I can see where Destiny's coming from when you think of the group mentality. As a group mentality, you might, I trust, certain groups might trust as certain other groups just off, just because. But when you think of it as the individual, which we should, because systems systems can't be changed unless you change the individuals within that system. So, or are you as a person gathers a group of people to change the system, but it starts with the individual, like Stephen Covey talks about in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It starts with the individual being proactive, understanding that they are the programmers of their life. Now, not to say that destiny is completely wrong. I think there's something to be said that once you have enough evidence, let's go to the police officer again. Once you have enough evidence that police in your neighborhood are there for you begin to trust them in other aspects of life. If every single encounter with a police officer you've had has been positive, and you meet another police officer off duty and they say they're a police officer, well, now you're more likely to trust them. It's that third party, a trust, because it's the group they're associated with and the evidence that you have accumulated that outside of the group of their normal circumstances, you kind of connect with them as well more. And same with car manufacturers. So let's go back to our car example. If I let's do this. If I've just been a car so all my life, and I've turned on the car multiple of times and it's always turned on for me, I'm going to trust us that if I get on a motorcycle and turn it on, that the people who have manufactured the car have given me plenty of evidence to believe that you know what, this might be a different machine, different components, it might be something different, but I'm still believe it's going to work. I think it'd be a better example of like electric car, which is a completely different in model. I'm still going to believe that the car is going to turn on because of the evidence as I've accumulated with, look at this, as my car has turned on all this many times, and so, if those same people, those same engineers go and build this new car with this new model, and I'm going to trust that it's not going to blow up in my face because as it's the same people. But I can see arguments with that too, because definitely if you do something new, kind of like that, so let's just say it was the brand new electric car. No one's driven before, and they say you're the first one to drive it. I am gonna be a little hesitant to drive it because I've never really driven one before. No one else has driven one, so I don't know if this thing's gonna work or not. But goes back to the point of starting the car. I understand and the process of how to take how they make cars and the quality assurances and that it's done this before, and I can safely I'm going to safely assume that it's going to transfer over to this new electric car if it's the same and kind of engineers and manufacturers that are working on that car, because now I've gained trust from the evidence that is brought before me. So, the roles of engineer, roles of manufacturers, I'm going to trust they're going to do a good job now because of the supplemental evidence that was given to me by just living my life out. So I think first comes the evidence. I don't think you get to that third party trust without some kind of evidence from somewhere. But then I think you can start going into the I don't want to say blind trust, that sounds horrible, but just trust in third parties. So yeah, that would be my argument. Is first evidence, then comes third party trust. So yeah, I'm glad I thought through that. I like that, thinking through this and these ideas. I was getting a little scared beforehand because something I'm not used to doing is, this is not a topic I'm used to talking about. So it was good to think about it though. So I liked it. I could continue on, but I don't think so. I think I made my point with 17 minutes. But anyways, I'll see you later. Bye bye.